Hi, how's it going? It's Daiki. I'm a Japanese living and working here in Helsinki, Finland, and today I'm talking about 5 similarities between Finnish and Japanese culture, society, and people. I will timestamp the main points I will mention in the description below so that you can skip to the part you are interested in, and English subtitles are available as well. I have now lived in Finland for 4.5 years, and I already talked about how I ended up in Finland in another video, so I'm not gonna talk about it in this video today. But anyway, I often feel that there are some kind of special connections between Finnish and Japanese, even though they are not neighboring countries, and I find it pretty interesting. So the first similarity is shyness. People say that Finns and Japanese can be a bit shy in the beginning, but once you get to know the person, he or she can be pretty friendly and helpful, and I agree with that based on my experience. We are not the most sociable people for sure. This is totally my personal opinion, but the type of shyness feels a bit different to me. As far as I feel, the human relationship with Finns is like there is one big thick wall between you and Finn, and you have to break down to be good friends with them. On the other hand, when it comes to Japanese, it's more like there are a couple of thinner walls in between you and Japanese to break down. And in some countries, it's quite common that some stranger comes talk to me on the street or somewhere in public. For example, when I was living in Canada as an exchange student, sometimes some random people come talk to me, for example in a train or in a bus, saying like, "Hey, I like your shoes." And it was just like a normal daily situation. However, both in Finland and Japan, I seldom talk to strangers unless there is a necessary reason for it. It doesn't mean that Finns and Japanese are very antisocial, but it's just a culture there, and it feels a bit weird to me if I talk to a stranger on the street in Japan, for example. So when somebody I don't know comes talk to me in Finland or Japan, I might direct a skeptical look at the person unconsciously. The second similarity is no small talk. It is internationally well known that Finns don't do small talk, and that's something I learned already on my first week in Finland, because it was mentioned even during the orientation sessions organized by the Finnish university I was studying in. And in some countries, "How are you?" is used more like "Hi", and it's not really asking how you are doing. However, in Finland, well, of course it depends on the person and situations, but in general, "How are you?" or "Mitä kuuluu" in Finnish means more like asking how you have been doing in life or how's your life been, any news going on in your life. I still remember that when I arrived in Finland, my international tutor at school was jokingly saying that you should ask Finns "How are you?" when you have time. Otherwise, they might start telling you what's going on in life, and it could take a couple of minutes or even longer. That's actually one thing I like about Finns, because we Japanese also don't do much small talk. And I personally find it a bit tiring to do small talk. I realize that when I meet my Japanese friends, I don't really ask "How are you?" We rather jump into the topic we need to talk or we want to talk, rather than doing some small talk. The third point is punctuality. Punctuality is something both Finnish and Japanese culture have in common, and I like it a lot. As you probably know, Japanese transportation systems work pretty well. Like for example, in big cities, trains come every couple minutes on time usually. And in Finland, at least in Helsinki, where I'm living, trams or metros and trains function pretty well as well, except when it snows a lot. But anyway, I don't have to overestimate things too much, both in Finland and Japan. This punctuality applies to people as well. I was educated to be punctual in Japan, and it is an important attitude in Finland as well. For example, when I agreed to meet up with a Finnish friend of mine, they are usually on time, but in case when they are late, I might get a text message saying that they are 5 minutes late. Or when having a video call at work and the Finnish participant is a bit late, Usually he or she says sorry, I am 3 minutes late. To me, that's a respect for other people and I like the value. That's maybe one of the reasons why I am still living in Finland as a foreigner without a big issues or stress with Finnish people so far. So the fourth point is appreciation for nature. Traditionally, both for Finns and Japanese, forests are spiritual places. In Finland, forests cover more than 75% of the land areas, and in Japan more than 65%, which is around 2/3 of the land areas. So these two countries are one of the forested countries among the developed countries. One good thing about Finland is easy access to nature, and people go to the forest on a daily basis. It feels like they need nature to relax and maintain a peaceful state of mind, and they regard forests as an essential part of life. When I move to a new apartment and talk about it with my Finnish friends, and one common question I get is, so is there nature nearby? That shows how they appreciate nature. Likewise, Japanese have cherished nature throughout the history. For instance, many traditional shrines and temples are located in the nature, and people see them as sacred areas, regardless of whether they are religious or not. The respect for nature can be found in some of the Japanese modern culture as well. For example, a popular film, Princess Mononoke, animated by Studio Ghibli, deals with the subject of the relationship between humans and nature. By the way, there are actual beautiful forestry areas in Japan where the movie took place. Also, nowadays, forest bathing or shinrin-yoku in Japanese is internationally well known already, and people associate visiting nature with a sense of comfort. They appreciate the smell of the trees, the sunlight coming through the leaves, the sound of the forest and the fresh air, just like Finnish people do in the nature. The last one is Finnish sauna and Japanese bathing culture. In Finland, sauna can be found everywhere, in apartments, companies, swimming pools, gyms, summer cottages, and of course public saunas. In Japan, most people take a bath at home since Japanese houses are usually equipped with a bathtub. It's also popular to go to a public bathhouse or hot spring after work or during the weekend. So both of Finnish sauna and Japanese bathing culture take root in people's daily lives. They are definitely not something special for people. Another point I have to mention here is that people don't do them only for relaxing, but also for socializing. In Japanese language, we have this word called hadaka no tsukiyai, which means naked socializing or naked association. This indicates that bathing is a good way to communicate with people, and it makes it easier for them to talk about things that they might not usually talk about. Likewise, in Finland, sauna plays a big role in people's interaction. As this is a very typical topic to talk among international people living in Finland, sauna turns shy Finns into friendly people. I think sauna removes the communication barriers, and I have a similar experience as well. When I moved to my student apartment in Finland, and I met some neighbors, but they were a bit shy in the beginning, but I met them in the communal saunas of the student apartment, and they started talking a lot in sauna. And I realized sauna is an important place for Finns in many ways. It's not surprising that here in Finland some politicians or business people go to sauna together with their clients, business partners or guests, for example. I guess some of the important decisions in Finnish history have been made in sauna. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. There are of course much more smaller similarities between Finnish and Japanese culture, society and people, but I didn't want to make this video too long. Please note that these are based on my experience, but if you know or find some other similarities, please tell me in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.